first Saturday in December means the first Grade 1 event of the Summer Festival of Racing here in Cape Town. Weather's always good at this time of the year, the festive season is fast approaching, and there's always something for everyone to be part of in the mother city. And in and amongst all of that, racing certainly steps up a gear as we now head into our graded stakes program here in the Western Cape. As a racing connoisseur, we are certainly in for a treat of high quality action starting this weekend all the way through until way after the festive period. Hello again from your Vaughan Smit. Good to have you along for Commentator Smit's comments. Now, as you all know, I don't normally tip horses on the show unless, of course, I found one that I've labelled as my best bet that I normally share with you. But this is an opportunity for me to share some news, do reviews, and also share my views on some of the horses that I will be keeping a close eye on as we head into the feature race action this weekend. The pools have certainly been good, so have the payouts. Hope you've scanned the QR code, downloaded your Tab 4 Racing app. Everything is there at your fingertips, from the race day menu to race cards to past results to the tote. And once you've placed a bet, you can click another button and you can even watch the race live on your mobile device at your convenience wherever you are. It would also be remiss of me not to congratulate the connections of Portamanzano for winning the Betway Summer Cup at Turffontein on Saturday. And what a day of feature race action we were treated to on the Highveld. And a special mention must also go to Keegan de Mello. He's certainly riding with lots of confidence all around the country. He's way clear the top of the jockey's log, and he's already surpassed that magical 100 winner mark. And it's this early in the season, who knows? He may even be able to break that record, and I'm sure, like me, many of you would like to wish him all the very best for the rest of the season, and long may his rich vein of form continues. Locally on Sunday, of course, we had racing down here at Hollywood Bet's Kenilworth, and we all witnessed a truly spectacular performance by Charles Dickens. He's the current odds-on favourite for the Hollywood Bet's Cape Guineas. That happens the middle of December. And I must admit, it's been a long time since I've called a horse and certainly witnessed one that won in such scintillating fashion. As a 3-year-old, giving weight to dispose of such a high quality field of hard-knocking individuals was certainly something remarkable. And I'm sure racing scribes all around the country are already starting to scratch their heads and look for all sorts of new adjectives of how to describe Charles Dickens going forward. He's 5 from 5. He's had a flawless prep. We're now looking forward to the first classic for 3-year-olds. That will be run on 17 December here at Hollywood Bet's Kenilworth. Diarise the date. The Hollywood Bet's Cape Guineas runs on that day. You certainly want to attend. Book early to avoid disappointment is my suggestion. Speaking of classics, this coming Saturday, there's a list of 4 feature races on the card that we can look forward to. And those are the races I'll be concentrating on as they form the 4 legs of the jackpot. And the first of those 9 races here at Hollywood Bet's Kenilworth gets underway at 12:40. And the first feature race on the card is race number 5, which is the Drakenstein Stud Cape Summer Stayers Handicap Grade 3, to be run over 2,500 meters. Now, at first glance, when I looked at it, I thought, wide open affair, and you could pretty much make a case for each and every one of them. In fact, there are a couple that I think need to get a mention. One, the future is bright. He certainly is a horse that has a come-on look about him. He jumps from pole position. He comes in with a light galloping weight of 52.5 kilograms. He's maturing into a useful stay, and it looks like the further he goes, the better he is becoming. 2, Chrome Yellow is another one that needs a mention. Now, despite the fact that he gives weight all round, he's got a remarkable record in this race. In 2019, he was runner-up. In 2020, he won it. Last year, he won it again. And this year, he's back for the 3rd year in succession to defend his crown. A horse like Rex Union also needs to be mentioned. He's a model of consistency, ideally distance suited. The only thing against him is that he's having his 2nd run after a rest. And then there's Blackthorn. Nice to see Sean Tarry visiting the Western Cape with a string. His last season's Gold Vase winner, and I think you can put a line through his last run because it was reported that something went amiss. He finished a distance behind Aramagam, who subsequently came out and won again on Saturday at Turffontein. And I think if he's anywhere near his best, he should be competitive. Those are the ones that I think deserve a mention. But on closer inspection and dissecting the form, I made it a race in two between number 7 Salvatore Mundi and number 8 Baratheon, purely on the strength of their last run in the Willavington. Now Baratheon went from start to finish. He never let up. He went all of the way to win Piet Botha's first feature race for him as a trainer. Salvatore Mundi came out next best to run second. The difference this time round is that Salvatore Mundi is a kilo and a half better off for a length and 3/4 beating, and that should bring him closer to the action. So the way I'm sort of looking at it is Baratheon will be in front, Salvatore Mundi will be doing the catching, and those two will be fighting out the finish of the marathon event on the program. Race 6 is the WSB.co.za Southern Cross Stakes Grade 2 over 1,000 metres, and a very competitive renewal with a number of visitors having made the trip down to Cape Town. The visitors include 9 Princess Kala, who is the highest rated, and she's certainly best treated by the conditions of the race. However, this is her first run after quite a lengthy layoff, and also her first run for a new stable. So it's going to be interesting to see how she goes. Number 4, Ifiko, from the stable of Mike de Kock, has Muzi Henny in the saddle. Now, if you look at Ifiko's form line, she's an out-and-out 1,000-metre specialist. She shows pace from the word go, and she's the type of filly that will be out there saying, come and catch me if you can. Nice to see Ashley Fortune also make the trip down to Cape Town. She brings the Gardenia Stakes winner, number 8, Balachica, to Cape Town, and Sharon Kotzen will be travelling up from the Eastern Cape. She brings Fedra, who's ideally distance suited, the winner of 5 with a 2nd and a 4th from 8 starts. So all of them can make their presence felt in this race. But a form line that I'd like to dissect and look at more closely is the Laissez-Faire run. In fact, there's a couple of them that renew rivalry. 7 Stiptelik moved up, just got run out of it, finished second in that race. The Bass Robinson, Dior 5 Santa Maria and 6 going up, finished 3rd and 5th respectively, and between them was 11 Whoa Whoa Whoa, who finished 4th, and she subsequently come out and won since then. But Whoa 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 I think is much more effective over 1,200 metres. There is, however, a filly that I'm looking very forward to seeing in action, and I will be keeping a very close eye on her, and that's the 3-year-old filly, number 1 Hunting Trip. She certainly looks progressive. She's yet to finish out of the money. Yes, this is going to be her stiffest task to date, but she does represent that red-hot jockey trainer combination of Justin Snaith and Richard Fourie. She's run once over the course and distance. She's finished second. She certainly looks like a filly that's on the up, and I'm looking forward to seeing how she goes against her older rivals in this race. I don't have an outright selection in this particular contest, as I do think it is very, very competitive, and in exotics I'd suggest do load up and put in as many as the budget does allow. Moving on to the 7th race on the program, the World Sports Betting Green Point Stakes Grade 2 over 1,600 metres, and many calls it the Lormerock King's Plate Trial, because inevitably the result of this race has a direct bearing on what could possibly happen come that race. What a smashing field of 11 individuals. No less than 5 Group 1 winners will be lining up in this contest, and I'm particularly keen once again to keep an eye on both 2 Golden Ducat and 10 Rascallion. Both of them having had good comeback runs after lengthy layoff. They finished 3rd and 4th respectively in the Cape Mile, behind Jet Dark, who was absolutely scintillating in that victory. I think we can expect further improvement from them, and with further fitness on their side, they could make their presence felt. Having mentioned Jet Dark, I think he is here to prove a point as being one of the best milers in the country. However, I think there's also a score to be settled between him and his foe Comedy Dung, because these two had met at the end of last season in the Champions Cup. They ran 1-2 respectively. They meet on exactly the same terms. Jet Dark, of course, won the Cape Mile in his comeback, and Comedy Dung ran an absolute cracker over a distance short of his best. He was absolutely flying when he finished second. Both of them should strip much fitter. Both of them will come into the race wanting to prove a point. Then on to the big one of the afternoon, race number 8, which is the World Sports Betting Cape Fillies Guineas Grade 1 over 1,600 metres. And this certainly has attracted a field of high quality individuals. 14 of them will face the starter. There is one horse that I'm particularly keen on really keeping a very watchful eye on, and that's the Eastern Cape visitor from the Sharon Kotzen yard, and that's number 7 Peach Daiquiri. She's unbeaten in 3 starts. She could be anything. She likes to race up handy, and when she stepped up in trip last time out, she absolutely pulverized the opposition, winning by more than 5 lengths. That was in the Eastern Cape. She now comes to Cape Town, where she's about to face her stiffest task to date. She's also had to travel, and it's the first time she's going on a left-hand turn. However, I'm very keen on seeing how she goes. But if one looks at the form, there is one race particularly that I want to dissect, and that's the result of the Western Cape Fillies Championship, because inevitably the result of that race has a direct bearing on what could possibly happen on Saturday. That race was, of course, won in facile fashion by the regally bred grey filly number 3, Chow Bella. Now, she certainly enjoyed the step up in trip. She showed her class in no uncertain terms, and the manner in which she won, it does tend to lean towards her to take the lion's share of the prize money, as she is bidding to give her trainer his 5th Cape Fillies Guineas winner. I don't, however, think she's going to have it her own way, because there were horses behind her that were running on very strongly. One of those being the second place runner, number 13, Time for Orchid. She ran an absolute cracker. She came from way back. It was her first run for the Marshall Yard, and I think there is much more to come this time round. 9, Gimmy's Lassie was 3rd, not disgraced. A model of consistency, yet to finish out of the money. She's as honest as the day is long, and I think we can expect another honest run from her. But the horse that I'm most looking forward to seeing in action again is the one that finished 4th in that race, and that's number 12, Golden Hostess. Now, you'll remember last time out, she had lots to do with plenty of ground to make up after having been dropped right out from the first of the draws. She was absolutely flying at the finish. She finished 4th, beaten just 1.35 lengths behind Chow Bella. The difference this time round is that that race was one of the 1400 metres on the winter track with a 450 metre run in. This time round, they're on the summer track with a long 600 metre straight. She will certainly be doing her best work late, and I think she represents to me the value in this race. All in all, we can look forward to another vintage renewal of the World Sports Betting Cape Fillies Guineas over 1600 metres here at Kenilworth. 4 top quality feature races, part of a 9-race program. They'll be prepping pampering stations on course, as well as champagne and gin to be enjoyed by everybody. Live local entertainment. Come on down and be part of the day's action. Entry is free. I'll be there, and I look forward to seeing you at the races.